fights with passion, and he inspires.
Are you ready for a war?
All right, welcome back to, what are we going to call this thing? That's what I'm going to need. I'm going to need individuals to reach out and tell me what we're going to call these Wednesday editions, because it's not from arbitration, right? I'm Director of Education for the CLC, so basically it's a CLC thing, but it's for everybody. Even if you don't like me, it's for you as well, because we're educating. That's my thing. So I'm going to have to solicit names for what we're going to call this Wednesday edition. It's not going to be Welcome Back to From Arbitration. That's Sunday. This will be Wednesday. So may put on a little Facebook thing on my From Arbitration Facebook page. Y'all tell me what we're going to call these Wednesday editions so I can come on and say, welcome back to whatever. How's that sound? All right. These episodes are going to be education only. I will not be talking about anything else. There will not be politics, as much as I hate that. There won't be anything other than education, all right? So there'll be no profanity. I'm not going to go off on educating. That doesn't get me riled up like that. Only when you abuse my people will I get riled up. So it'll be free of that, okay? So a lot of people will be happy about that. But so we'll name it. We'll pick out some names, and then we'll see who wins that, okay? I've got two suits I'm going to give away to advocates, all right? I was going to take them down to a thrift store, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give them away, and it will benefit two individuals. I'll give a gray one to somebody that reaches out, and the blue one. Both of them are nice. Both of them are brand new. I don't think I've wore the gray one. I wore the blue one once in the Memphis arbitration, and so I'm going to give those away. Now the gray one is, the pants are 40-32, 40 by 32. All right. The pants are 40 by 32. The jacket, 50 regular. 50 regular. So the pants are 40 by 32. The jacket is 50 regular. The blue suit, very nice suit. It's very nice. 52 regular. That's the jacket, 52 regular. And the pants are the same, 42. Oh no, the pants are 42, 32. The gray one is 40, 32, and the blue one is 42, 32. All right? So I'm going to say it again. The gray jacket, 50 regular. The gray pants, 40 by 32. The blue jacket, 52 regular, and the pants, 42, 32 on the blue one. All right? So email me, message me. Whoever messages me first, y'all going to get them. Gray one and blue one. Very nice suits. Very nice. So advocates, if anybody's that size, holler at me. I'll ship them to you for free. All I need you to do is send me your name and address. Tell me which one you want, and I will ship them to you for free. All right, that's what I'll do. Today what we're going to do is we're going to go over minutes for 6-day counts. A lot of 6-day counts going on. There's a lot of abuse going on. The good thing is we can grieve it. Okay, so headquarters, what headquarters is doing, they're looking at DSR data, which they can't do, and they're telling district, we're going into this station, and we're going to take out this many routes, this many hours. I see a lot of people on social media saying that districts come in, or that managers come in and taking out 6 routes, and TRAP's only taking out 1 or 2. I would use that against them, saying that, hey, when both parties did the evaluation, we only lost 1 route. But now management comes in and does the evaluation, we lost 6. Arbitrators will see through that. The good thing about 6-day count, I can grieve it. Regardless of how bad management does us, I can grieve a 6-day count. So I'm always prefer something that I can grieve. No matter how bad it is, I can grieve it, okay? So what can we do as city letter carriers? Most things you hear about during 6-day counts are for shop stewards. What are we going to request? What are we going to look at? Data that we're looking at. And so rarely ever do we talk to the city letter carrier. So I'm going to talk to the city letter carrier today. This is the training that I do whenever I go out and talk about 6-day count. This is the training that I do. Now, Mallory will have this and put this up on the episode, this little packet that I have, okay? And it's nothing special, but it's talking about minutes, saving minutes. Management wants to come in, falsify everything, take away minutes when they shouldn't. When you talk about street waiting time, they'll steal from us. These are things, legitimate things we can do to save minutes. Just like I told my station when they came in. Save me minutes. Give me minutes. I don't care how many it is. Save me some minutes somehow. And so these are things that we're going to talk about, saving minutes, all right? And like I said, these episodes on Wednesday could be 20 minutes. They could be an hour. I don't know. I'm just going to come over here and whatever topic I pick, it could be 20 minutes like when I first started this podcast, or it could be an hour, okay? Next Wednesday, I'm going to read for an hour over this 6-day count book, all right? And I'll eventually get finished with that one of these years. I'll get finished with that 6-day count book. But so today we're going to talk about to the city letter carrier about saving minutes. What can we do to help our shop steward save some minutes? So the first thing we're going to talk about, and this is one of the most important things to look at, it's not about saving minutes, but it's about getting minutes back. And it's the 1838C. And this is one of the things that a lot of stations fail to educate their members on, the city letter carrier. On the 1838C, you have two lines you're going to pay attention to, 22 and 23. Those are the most important two lines on there because those are the two lines that absolutely kill us when we evaluate the route. Line 22 and 23. And in the book, it has this 1838C in it, and it has times on there. And so I'm going to talk about it. 22 says waiting for mail, office, and other office activities not performed on a continuing basis, which are excluded in computing the net office time. Use comments section. I'm going to read that again. Waiting for mail, office, and other office activities not performed on a continuing basis, which are excluded in computing the net office time. So anything on 22, we lose. Anything put down on as far as line 22 line items, we lose that time. Line 23, counting mail and filling out Form 1838 worksheet. Anything on 23, we lose. So when you go over to the right and it shows actual time entries, on this one we have line 23, which means we lose all that time. We have 29 minutes on line 23. So automatically we're 29 minutes behind. Okay? That's critical when we look at these forms. You've got to make sure when you head to the street, you know how much time you have on 22 and 23. Why? You've got to get that time back somehow. You've got to get that time back. If we're got line 23 and 22, we've got 29 minutes of time on line 23 and 22. That means that we're 29 minutes behind. So when we go out and we come back and we said, man, I made it in 8 hours. You didn't. You lost 29 minutes. If you come back and you say, hey, man, I worked 8.5 hours, that's better. That's better because we've lost 29 minutes. A lot of people tell me, hey, Corey, man, I worked all week. I worked 8 hours all week, man. And they tell me my route's 7.5 hours. And when you look at line 23 and 22, about 29 minutes, 30 minutes. We didn't get that time back. So make sure when you go out to the street, you know how much time you have under line 23 and 22. You're that much time behind. You've got to make up that time, okay? Next, we're going to go to Handbook EL801. Handbook EL801, and it's section 3-5, Motor Vehicle Safety. And when you look down, you have 3-5.4, Motor Vehicle Safety Rules. The first line, you must ensure that motor vehicle operators follow all motor vehicle safety rules, including those listed in A through Y. I'm going to read that again because it has my favorite word in there. You must. Underline that, italicize that, and highlight that. You must. It doesn't say you may, you might, you should. It says you must ensure that motor vehicle operators follow all motor vehicle safety rules, including those listed in A through Y. Here's A. Comply with Notice 76 Expanded Vehicle Safety Check, which requires daily vehicle safety checks. I'll read that again. A. Comply with Notice 76 Expanded Vehicle Safety Check, which requires, so now we have a requirement. This is a requirement that we must do because it says up here, you must ensure that motor vehicle operators follow all motor vehicle safety rules. So that's a requirement. That's a mandate. You must do that. It's a mandate. Now we have the requirement. Comply with Notice 76 Expanded Vehicle Safety Check, which requires daily vehicle safety checks. So this is a requirement that management must make sure we do. All right? That's every day. Here's M41. 83, Vehicle Assignment Procedures. Section 832, Inspecting Vehicle. 832.1, inspect vehicle as described on Notice 76 Expanded Vehicle Safety Check. See Exhibit 832.1 for deficiencies, body damage, or inoperable items. See 842 for reporting defects. So here we have the M41 handbook. This is our handbook that management wrote for us. Okay, we did not write the M41 handbook. Management wrote this handbook for us. And in the section 832 of that, it talks about inspecting vehicles. 832.1, inspect vehicles as described on Notice 76, Expanded Vehicle Safety Check. So here I have the EL 801. It's talking about a mandate. Management must ensure that motor vehicle operators follow all motor vehicle safety rules. A, it's a requirement that we do it every day, the Notice 76. Here we have our handbook, M41, saying inspect vehicles as described on Notice 76. So we have the EL 801, management wrote that, and the M41, management wrote that, both telling us that we have a requirement, right, to do inspect vehicles as described on Notice 76. Then it says Exhibit 832.1. So we're going to go to Exhibit 832.1, and that's on page 84 of the handbook M41. Again, this is management writing this to us. This is what they're telling us that we must do. This is our requirement. Okay? So here's the vehicle safety check. We're going to go over every line item, okay? Because we're talking about minutes. Now, when management does the dry run, they're going to have the form already filled out, 1838, and they're going to have something silly like 3 minutes for vehicle safety check. Because they're wanting you to go out there, hurry through it, and get back. Because this is where we kill them on time. This is where we save minutes, okay? So here's management writing this to us, how we will do this. This is our requirement every single day. Exhibit 832.1, U.S. Postal Service Expanded Vehicle Safety Check. 1, look under body for oil and water leaks. That's 1. Look under body for oil and water leaks. 2, inspect the 2 front tires for inflation and wear. 3, check hood latches. 4, check front for body damage. 5, check left side for body damage. 6, check left door lock. 7, check for rear end leaks. 8, check all rear tires for inflation and wear. 9, check rear for body damage. 10, check rear door lock. 11, check right side for body damage. 12, check right door lock. Now, when management tells you and they say, hey, you got 3 minutes, if they put that on a form, you've got to get your key, walk out to your vehicle, however long that takes. It varies because some they're all the way across a parking lot. Some they're right outside the door, so it varies. You just made it through the first 12. How long is that going to take you to do all those things? That's 12 of 27. And this is a mandate now. This is our requirement. Here's 13, open door and move into driving position. So on 13, we've just now got into the vehicle. All these things we've done before we've even stepped into the vehicle. We ain't got into the vehicle until number 13. 14, start engine. If in enclosed area, wait until after step 21. 15, listen to me. Listen to me, because we're fixing to help our neighbor on it, whichever side. 15, with assistance, adjust pot lid and left front mirror. Now, management will say, I'll do that. Y'all just keep on doing y'all's thing. No, every day they help us. So we get this time. Every day they come over and assist us with doing this. So you're not going to take their time away from them by saying, y'all just stay over there, I will do it. We'll grieve that. If they tell us, no, we'll do those things on this day. No, past practice here is this person over here on this route assists me every day. So you're not going to steal their time during our 6-day count. So 15, with assistance, adjust pot lid and left front mirror. 16, with assistance, check headlights, tail lights, brake lights, four-way flashers, and directional signals, front and rear. All right? We're saving minutes. We're helping our steward. We're saving minutes. We're helping our station, our routes. So with assistance now, you're talking about time. You're talking about minutes. Check the headlights. Check the tail lights. Check the brake lights. The four-way flashers and directional signals, front and rear. 17, adjust right side rear view mirror. 18, adjust center rear view mirror. 19, check steering wheel play. 20, check accident report kit. 21, check window locks. 22, check windshield wipers and washers. 23, check horn. 24, check gauges. Gas gauge requires 30 seconds for warm-up. Y'all got me? Because we're saving minutes, right? We're trying to get minutes. 24, check gauges. The gas gauge, it requires at least 30 seconds for warm-up. So when you sit in that vehicle in the morning, now look, when people come in to do 6-day counts, they don't know you. They have no idea who you are. They don't know what you've done every day. When you go out on the street, they don't know what pace you have. These people have no idea who you are. So when you check the gas gauges, you're going to sit in the vehicle and you're going to turn it on and you're going to sit there for 30 seconds doing nothing. And what are they going to say? What are you doing? Hey, what's taking you so long? Hey, I got to wait 30 seconds for warm-up. Do what? Yeah. Got to sit here for 30 seconds, wait for warm-up. Where in the world does it say that in y'all's handbook that y'all wrote for us, M41? Y'all wrote that for us. We didn't write the M41 handbook. Y'all did. Y'all wrote it as a mandate to us. This is a requirement as Exhibit 832, Expanded Vehicle Safety Check. We had nothing to do with that. So under 24 right here, and you'll have it with you, under 24 it says check gauges. Gas gauge requires 30 seconds for warm-up. I'm going to wait here 30 seconds. 25, check foot brake. No more than 2 inches, free play. 26, check handbrake. 27, check seat belt and fasten. Okay? So there's you saving minutes. There's you making minutes. This is a mandate. It says we must do it. This is a requirement. It says we're required to do it. So it's a mandate that we must do these things. Exhibit 832.1, Expanded Vehicle Safety Check. We do it every single day. Every single day. Get into that 6-day count and do that every morning. Every single morning. And print that off. Take it with you. A lot of people, I couldn't remember all those things. Just take it with you as a little checklist. All right, number 1, I got look under body for oil and water leaks. So let me get over here and look under. Need me some cardboard because that's hard on my knees. It gets a 2, inspect 2 front tires for inflation and wear. Let me get down here and check these tires for wear. Can't just see that by eyeballing. I got to get down here and look at these tires. This is, again, they wrote this for us. I didn't write that. They did. So save us some minutes, okay? Another thing that happens is And these things I've talked about in prior episodes on these knock and drop with the packages where management says, you got 1 minute, you got 2 minutes. There's no set time at which I deliver a package. There's no such thing. If management tells you got 3 minutes to deliver that package, no, there's no set time. We have no pace at which we must walk, right? So I'll discuss that in a second. But and that's one of the things that made me so upset about 1983, M1983, is that the two parties got together and put time limits on things. And you never do that. You never do that because there's no set pace at which I must walk. I have no street standard. And if I have no street standard, that means I cannot be told that I have a certain amount of time to do something on the street. I have no street standard. I don't care if it's a parameter or not. Once you tell me I have a parameter, then it's no longer, I have no street standard. You've given me one. And so I think that was foolish. I've talked about that all the time. But anyway, 63 route procedures. On 63 route procedures, and this is out of the M41 handbook as well, okay? Again, this is management writing this to us. And so when management says, hey, just go up there and drop the package at the porch, or hey, you only got so much time to deliver a package, first off, remember we have no street standard. It takes what it takes. If they tell you to drop a package on the porch, if they're doing that during the 6-day count, that's a grievance. But I'm going to go over everything you need to know about the delivery of parcels, because where is our business taking us? Package delivery. We're losing first-class mail, letters, and flats. Where are we going to have some saving grace here when we talk about saving minutes? Where are we going to get that? Package delivery. We need to make sure we're getting every second, every day to deliver packages. So M41, page 75, section 63, route procedures. 631, delivery of parcels. 631.1, determine if someone is available at the address by ringing the doorbell or knocking on the door. I'll read that again, because that's the best one, right? 631.1, determine if someone is available at the address by ringing the doorbell or knocking on the door. Now, how are we going to determine if they're at home? We'll ring on the doorbell and knock on the door, but we have to do what? We've got to wait. We've got to wait on them. 631.2, while waiting for customer to respond, scan the parcel to verify whether A, a receipt is required, B, postage due or other charges are to be collected, C, a return receipt is requested, D, delivery is restricted, E, the carrier release endorsement is used. So this defeats any argument management makes about dropping it on the porch, ringing the doorbell, dropping it, leaving. This defeats every one of their arguments. So if they do any of that stuff, this will be in our grievance. All right? So Article 19 via Section 63 of the M41 handbook. Route procedures. 631.1, determine if someone is available at the address by ringing the doorbell or knocking on the door. 631.2, while waiting. While waiting. And that's exactly what we're going to do. If they tell us to do anything other than that, we'll grieve it. While waiting for customer to respond, scan the parcel to verify whether. Now, these are parcels that won't fit in the mailbox, okay? And how many of those do we have a day? This is saving minutes. This is saving minutes. If you're scanning a package, just walking up on the porch, throwing it there, and then leaving, you're costing your route an astronomical amount of time. An astronomical amount of time. 631.3, prepare receipts as explained in chapters 2 and 3. 631.5, if the parcel cannot be delivered for any reason, follow the procedures in chapter 3. That's critical. 631.5, if the parcel cannot be delivered for any reason, follow the procedures in chapter 3. Here's chapter 3. 322.3, parcels. 322.31, load parcels directly into the vehicle from hampers or sacks. Normally, separate the parcels in delivery sequence. Make a mental note of the first parcel delivery point. When this parcel has been delivered, make mental note of the next, and so on, until all parcels have been delivered. For any parcel that does not fit into the customer's mailbox or parcel locker when available, an attempt to deliver must, there's my word again, must. That's a mandate. Anytime you hear must, that's not discretionary. That's a mandate. So I'll read that portion again. For any parcel that does not fit into the customer's mailbox or parcel locker when available, an attempt to deliver must be made at the customer's door. If no one is available to receive the parcel, follow the procedures in 322.311 and 322.312. So let's go to 322.312. An attempt must be made at the door. That's not discretionary, that's mandatory. We'll go to 322.312. This is page 47 of the M41 handbook. 322.312, again, we're saving minutes. We're getting minutes back onto our route. When the carrier is not authorized to leave parcels. A, when someone is usually available to receive parcels. Now I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to read that again. When someone is usually available to receive parcels, my customers are always available to receive parcels. Nobody in the world knows that other than me. Nobody. Nobody from management has any idea, especially somebody coming in to walk with me on a 6-day count on a $39.99. Nobody knows my customers but me. So when it says when someone is usually available to receive parcels, my customers are always available to receive parcels. When an uninsured parcel, a parcel not requiring a signature, or a parcel that is not part of the carrier release program, is not delivered on the first attempt, we're saving minutes, and the carrier knows that someone at the address is usually available to receive parcels, do not leave a PS Form 3849, delivery notice, reminder, receipt. Write the date and the carrier's initials and route number near the address and return the parcel to the office. Place the parcel in the gurney at the carrier's case. Attempt a second delivery on the next delivery day. Did y'all hear me? We're going to get 2 for the price of 1 on this one package. We're going to get 2 for the price of 1 on this one package. I'm going to read that entire portion again. Remember, nobody knows your customers but you. They have no idea who's going to be home and who's not. They don't know who works and who doesn't. My customers are always available to receive parcels. When someone is usually available to receive parcels, when an uninsured parcel, a parcel not requiring a signature, or a parcel that is not part of the carrier release program is not delivered on the first attempt, and the carrier knows that someone at the address is usually available to receive parcels, do not leave a PS Form 3849, delivery notice, reminder, receipt. Write the date and the carrier's initials and the route number near the address and return the parcel to the office. Place the parcel in the gurney at the carrier's case. Attempt a second delivery on the next delivery day. If the parcel is not delivered after the second attempt, complete and leave the PS Form 3849. Okay? Now that's what management has told us to do. Again, we did not write the M41 handbook. The NEOC had nothing to do with it. This is management writing what we are required to do when delivering packages. And it tells you to take the package out there. We must go up to the door, ring the doorbell, or knock on the door and wait. If the customer does not come to the door, we'll fill out that 3849 with very limited information, like it said, and we will bring that package back to the station and put it at our case. And we will attempt that same package the next day. So we're going to get 2 for the price of 1 on that one package. We're saving minutes. We're saving minutes. Section 3 on the route. 32, delivery of ordinary mail matter. 321.4, place mail well into receptacle. If a rack is available for magazines, place them in the rack. Do not place fingers into door slots. Do not place mail on steps or porches, etc. Note, customers must provide receptacles or door slots for mail delivery unless a business place is open when a carrier arrives. Now listen to me. This is 321.4. If a parcel does not fit completely within the mail receptacle or parcel locker when available, determine if someone is available at the address by ringing the doorbell or knocking on the door. If no one is available to receive the parcel, follow procedures in 322.311 and 322.312. That's the emphasis that management puts on delivery of packages. All of those things I just read to you, management wrote to us. How we are required to handle packages. And that is saving minutes for us because management has instructed us how to do it. This is not the NELC telling you how to do it. This is management telling you how you will deliver packages. We must. We're required, right? This is them telling us. This is their handbook to us. Now here's another thing that y'all may not think about a lot. But this is saving minutes. And it's on the same page 45, 3 on the route. That I just read to is 321.4. This is 321.5. Now listen to the emphasis management puts on how we're going to finger mail and what we are to do with that mail before putting it into the box. This is saving minutes. 321.5. Finger mail between delivery stops, placing it in order of delivery. See 133.2. When withdrawing flaps from satchel, observe and remember address of next piece to avoid backtracking. Here's handbook M39. Now this is management's handbook that they wrote to themselves. The M41 is what management wrote to us. The M39 is what management wrote to themselves. This is their handbook, the M39 handbook. 125.6, finger mail. Carrier shall finger mail except when driving or when walking up or down steps or curbs, when crossing streets, or when this would create a safety hazard to themselves or to the public. So we have the M41 handbook talking about fingering mail. We have the M39 handbook 125.6 talking about fingering mail. Going back to the M41 handbook, this is page 112 of the M41 handbook, page 112. Go down and it talks about fingering. Here's where we're going to get them. Okay, here's where we're saving minutes. We're creating minutes. Fingering, the final separation of mail for the next several stops and verification of the address before delivery. I'm going to read that again. The final separation of mail. Now it does not say the final separation of DPS. It says the final separation of mail. That's cased mail and DPS mail. It says the final separation of mail for the next several stops and verification of the address before delivery. Now, what is the address? That is the name, the street, the city and state. That's the address. So if I've got a lot of DPS on a day and I pull up to the next box, I'm on a mounted route, and I pull up to the next box, we're going to take care of that vehicle. We're going to put it in park or neutral. We'll talk about that in just a second. We're going to look over and we're going to get our flats and we're going to verify that address even though we stuck that mail. We're going to verify that address. Why? Because it tells us to. Management told us to on page 112 of the M41 handbook. Verification of the address before delivery. So I have to look at that flat, name, city, state, street. The next one, because I've got to verify each piece. And if they tell us to quit doing that, we'll file a grievance on the spot. Okay? We're going to verify the address on that mail. Management told us to do it. And then we're going to get those flats and whatever residual letters we had when we stuck, and we're going to get over that DPS. And we're going to look at the name, the address, city, and state. The next piece, the name, the address, city, and state. The next piece, the name, the address, the city, and the state. The next piece, the name, the address, the city, and state. If they tell you, just go to the address and flip back to that's not verifying the address, okay? Because we have markups, we have FOEs, we have deceased's. So we're going to make sure that we verify each piece, cased and DPS, before we put it into that box. That's fingering the mail. That's what management told us to do. The EL 801. EL 801. This will all be in the packet that Mallory put up. Page 17 of the EL 801. 3-3.2, fingering mail. 3-3.2, fingering mail. So we have the M39, the M41. Now we have the EL 801 telling us about fingering the mail. Instruct carriers not to finger mail when driving, walking up or down steps or curbs, crossing streets, or any time fingering mail would create a hazard to the carrier or to the public. It is equally important to caution employees that sorting or reading addresses while a vehicle is in motion is prohibited and cannot be allowed under any circumstances. The carrier must stop the vehicle properly and put transmission in park before attempting to put the mail in order. I'll read that again. The carrier must stop the vehicle properly and put transmission in park before attempting to put the mail in order. So up here it says, it is equally important to caution employees that sorting or reading addresses while a vehicle is in motion. Again, it's telling us what we must do with that piece of mail before we put it in the box. We've got to read that address. Name, street, city, and state. Here's page 21. I. Remember that fingering or holding mail in the hand or hands while driving is prohibited. A lot of times these managers or supervisors that come in will tell you to put a bunch of mail in your lap. I had one do that to one of my carriers. He did it to carrier Kenny Hutchison. A guy was riding with him. He said, hey, take about 6 inches of that DPS and put it in your lap. And Kenny said, I'm not doing that. And he said, I'm giving you a direct order. Put that in your lap because you're wasting too much time looking back and forth. Just put it in your lap, finger that mail, and put it in the box. So Kenny turned around, drove him back, came in the station, said, hey, dudes tell me to perform something that's unsafe. Y'all need to tell him to get out of my vehicle. It's because he's either going to get out or I'm going home. So they made the guy get out of the vehicle and they gave Kenny another person to ride with him. So that's why that's important. Remember that fingering or holding mail in the hand or hands while driving is prohibited. If any of these people that come in there to watch y'all, to ride with y'all, tell y'all to do that, tell y'all to take that DPS and put it in your lap. Right there. Okay? Right there is what you're going to put in your grievance. Here's another good one. Handbook EL 804. Handbook EL 804. Driver's responsibilities. Now, when you talk about responsibilities, that's a requirement. That's a thing that one is required to do as part of a job. That's a responsibility. When you talk about driver's responsibility, Handbook EL 804, responsibility means the thing that one is required to do as part of a job. So this is what we're required to do. This is a requirement, a responsibility. B, Section 151, General Principles. B, obey all federal, state, and local traffic laws and Postal Service policies. Drive defensively and professionally, extend courtesy in all situations. Now, I'm going to read this again because here's one of the things that pisses them off the most. Driver's responsibilities. This is Handbook EL 804. General principles. B, obey all federal, state, and local traffic laws and Postal Service policies. Let's go to the next page. I've got M document 00994. M document 00994. And this is what it reads. Third paragraph. It is our position that advising carriers not to put the gear selector in the neutral position at each delivery point on a mounted route was improper. Let's talk about that again. It is our position, now this is both parties, this is M document. It is our position that advising carriers not to put the gear selector in the neutral position at each delivery point on a mounted route was improper. Why? Because U.S. Postal Service policy. This is a policy. U.S. Postal Service policy. What did I just read from EL 804? Obey all federal, state, and local traffic laws and Postal Service policies. They wrote that to us. EL 804, we didn't write that. Management wrote that. So what are they saying here? U.S. Postal Service policy. So this is a policy that we must obey in accordance with the Handbook EL 804. In this regard, provides that employees performing curbside delivery from right-hand drive vehicles shall follow the procedures of 1. On level streets or roads, placing the vehicle in neutral, placing the foot firmly on the brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in the mailbox. 2. On hills, placing the vehicle in park, placing the foot firmly on the brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in the mailbox. We find that the grievance in this regard does have merit. By copy of this letter, the postmaster is instructed to comply with Postal Service policy concerning the operation of motor vehicles while delivering mail. I'm going to read that again. EL 804 says what? Obey all federal, state, and local traffic laws and Postal Service policies. Here's M00994. Again, this will be in the packet. M00994. It is our position that advising carriers not to put the gear selector in the neutral position at each delivery point on a mounted route was improper. U.S. Postal Service policy in this regard provides that employees performing curbside delivery from right-hand drive vehicles shall follow the procedures of 1. On level streets or roads, placing the vehicle in neutral, placing the foot firmly on the brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in the mailbox. 2. On hills, placing the vehicle in park, placing the foot firmly on the brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in the mailbox. We find that the grievance in this regard does have merit. By copy of this letter, the postmaster is instructed to comply with Postal Service policy concerning the operation of motor vehicles while delivering mail. So if you're on your 6-day count, or anytime really, if you're on your 6-day count and management's riding with you and you've never done it before, and they ask you, have you ever done that before? Doesn't matter. It's policy. If you're not doing it, they should tell you to do it. Why? Because it's Postal Service policy. And according to their handbook, EL 804, we must obey all policies. So if you're not doing it, they should instruct you to do it. If they tell you not to do it, they're in violation of Postal Service policy. If they say, hey, you've not done that before here, have you? No. Well, you can't do it now. They're in violation of the policy. They're in violation of policy. Okay? Now here's M01444, 01444. And y'all have heard this before, but this is critical. It's critical now more than ever because of 1983 putting parameters on things. You can't put averages on things when we have no street standard. That's the reason I hated 1983, when they put parameters on things, because if it takes what it takes, I can have no average. There can be no average. I don't care if you add the average of every carrier in the country, all 200,000 of us, and put all that data in something and came out with an average, still don't have an average because it takes what it takes. Here's M1444. Daily piece counts recorded in accordance with the above referenced systems, post or DOS, will not constitute the sole basis for discipline. However, daily counts recorded in accordance with these procedures may be used by the parties in conjunction with other management records and procedures to support or refute any performance-related discipline. This does not change the principle that pursuant to Section 242.332 of the M39, no carrier shall be disciplined for failure to meet standards except in cases of unsatisfactory effort, which must be based on documented, unacceptable conduct that led to the carrier's failure to meet office standards. Listen to me. Furthermore, the pre-arbitration settlement there, dated October 22, 1985, provides that there is no set pace at which a carrier must walk and no street standard for walking. That means we have no street standard. So when I'm in the office, I've got a standard of 18 and 8. As soon as I hit the street, I have no standard. That goes for loading parcels, loading my vehicle. I have no standard. There's no 22 minutes of nothing. I have no standard. That goes for delivery of parcels, no standard. That is at every box, no standard. That's when I'm walking, I have no set pace. These were written to benefit the city letter carrier, not management. This 100% benefits the city letter carrier. It does not benefit management in one bit. It benefits us solely. I'll read that part again. Furthermore, the pre-arbitration settlement there, dated October 22, 1985, provides that there is no set pace at which a carrier must walk and no street standard for walking. That benefits us 100%. Let's go to M1769. M1769. Now, management will come around. They've been saying this a lot. People have been telling me that they say, hey, this was back from 1985. It no longer applies. They need to show you something. They need to show you something that states that these things are no longer active or relevant. And they can't. As long as this thing is still in the system, I don't care if it's dated 1922, it's still valid unless they show us something that or supersedes that, okay? Here's 1769, M1769. Has the same language about DOAS, and this is dealing with pet. Last sentence. Furthermore, as stated in the agreement for case, the one I just read to you, there is no set pace at which a carrier must walk and no street standard for walking. So here we have it again. The first one I read to you is from 2001. This one's from 2011. All right, so the first one was 2001, based off of a pre-arbitration settlement from 1985. This one's from 2011. Again, at 1769, middle paragraph, last sentence. Furthermore, as stated in the agreement for case there is no set pace at which a carrier must walk and no street standard for walking. So they've come back again to let management know we have no set pace. We have no set pace for walking, and there's no standard for walking. Okay? So those two things will be critical for you in a 6-day count. Here's another thing. Now, you got red line policies coming back. I've done episodes on red line policy. But one of the things they try to do at my station is tell the carriers that they have to do all of their throwbacks, all the things that they get on the route through the DPS and whatnot. They have to do all this stuff on the street. They try to tell us that. You got to do all these things on the street. The markups that come out of the DPS, FOE, stuff like that. You got to handle those things on the street. You're not going to handle those in the office when you get back. So I got JB, my president put JB over my station to file grievances because if it went to arbitration, I wanted to be the advocate. So JB comes in, he files grievances on all these things, and obviously we want it. Because basically what you're trying to do is give me a red line policy where I don't go back to my case. If they try to do that to y'all in y'all 6-day count, I'm going to give you stuff to defeat that, okay? M41 handbook. Again, this is the handbook they wrote to us for us to comply with. M41, this is ours. 36, undeliverable items. 361, undeliverable mail. Accept all mail handed back by customers and pick up undeliverable mail. If undeliverable, return it to the delivery unit for proper handling. If the mail was misdelivered on the route, see that proper delivery is effected. So this is 361, undeliverable mail, page 58 of the M41 handbook. Accept all mail handed back by customers and pick up undeliverable mail. If undeliverable, return it to the delivery unit for proper handling. So how are we going to properly handle it? I'm fixing to tell you. M41, page 64. 44, undelivered mail. 441, processing undelivered mail. Follow procedures listed in 24 to process forwardable and undeliverable mail. 1, that you didn't process before leaving the office, and or 2, that you picked up on the route. After processing, place this mail in throwback case as explained in 24. So this is handbook M41. This is our handbook, page 64, section 44, undelivered mail. 441, processing undelivered mail. Follow procedures listed in 24 to process forwardable and undeliverable mail. 1, that you didn't process before leaving the office, and or 2, that you picked up on the route. After processing, place this mail in throwback case as explained in 24. Now here's 24. Procedures by category. 242.1, letter type mail. 242.11, and it's titled casing. Now where do I case? At my case. I don't case on the street. Not yet. They haven't put a case in the back of that sucker yet, but I don't case on the street. I case at my case. Casing, 242.111. Case, there's that word again, case, removals to appropriate separation by size and type. Now, I don't case in buckets right as I come in the back door, or in hampers, or in tubs, or in letter trays as I come in the back door. I case at my case. Removals to appropriate separations. Now, what are the appropriate separations? When you have at your case, FOE, markups, the slots there, that's what they're talking about, appropriate separations by size and type. Separations are COAs, entry mail, machinable, and non-machinable. 242.112. Case, I think they're telling us what they want us to do with it, right? Case, removals to proper separation from mail pieces which are A, undeliverable as addressed, forwarding order expired, B, attempted not known, C, no such number, no such street, D, other carrier endorsed. 242.12, bundling CFS mail. 242.121, withdrawal mail in the separations. Now, where are the separations? At my case, where I case. They've already told me that. Casing. And then case and case. They keep telling me that. Withdrawal mail in the separations. Those are at my case. Deposit in designated location by exit for transport to CFS. So once I go to my case and I case these things in the separations, I'll withdraw those mail from the separations and I will deposit in the designated location by exit for transport to CFS. All right. Now I have here a decision, and this will be the final thing I do. It's from Sherry Rose Talmadge, and it's an arbitration decision, and it's C32369. 32369. And she has a few pages of discussion, but it deals with this very thing. But this was a red line policy that they attempted to implement. But she tells us exactly what we're going to do with the mail when we bring it back from the street. We don't deposit it as soon as we come in the back door. We go to our case. At issue is whether management violated Articles 3, 5, 15, and 19 of the National Agreement when it implemented the Eastern Area Operations Standard Operating Procedure, Red Line Policy, or EASOP 714. The union met its burden of proving a violation of the National Agreement when management implemented the EASOP 714, which is in conflict with the language of the M41 and M39, and unilaterally changed an existing past practice. The service argued that in accordance with Article 3 Management Rights Clause, it has the exclusive right to maintain the efficiency of the operations entrusted to it and determine the methods, means, and personnel by which such operations should be conducted. Pursuant to that authority, management implemented the EASOP 714 in an effort to streamline the process of undelivered mail. However, Article 3 is limited by the express provisions of the National Agreement. The M41 handbook carries duties and responsibilities incorporated in the National Agreement through Article 19. The language of the M41, Section 4, Office Time Return provides 441 processing undeliverable mail. Follow procedures listed in Part 24 to process forwardable and undeliverable mail that you didn't process before leaving the office, and or 2, that you picked up on the route. After processing, place this mail in throwback case as explained in Part 24. Section 441 instructs carriers to process forwardable and undeliverable mail that is brought back from the street per Section 24. Section 24, a subsection of 2, office time preparation, applies to the morning, AM casing processing procedures, and afternoon, PM processing procedures. In the morning, carriers stand at their cases and case the non-deliverable mail into slots labeled undeliverable as addressed, attempted not known, no such number, no such street, and CFS. After the carriers process the mail into the case separation, Section 242.121 states to withdraw mail in the separations, and Section 242.122 instructs the carriers to deposit in designated location by the exit or transport to CFS. Section 441, Office Time Return, which discusses the carrier's duties upon returning to the office, states that carriers are to process undeliverable mail at their case during office time return, and then place this mail in the throwback case. The M41 handbook directs carriers upon returning to the office to return to their case, process undeliverable mail, and then take the mail to the throwback case. The union witnesses testified that it has been the long-standing past practice at the facility for carriers upon returning to the office to return to their case to process the undeliverable mail, and then take the mail to the throwback case. Under the SOP 714, the carriers are not able to return to their case to references PS Form 3982s and secure customer hold mail. The SOP appears to conflict with Section 441 because the carriers are not being permitted to process the undeliverable mail at their cases, but rather must place the undeliverable mail in the throwback case as soon as they walk in the office. When management unilaterally implemented the SOP 714, the change in procedure upon returning to the office affected the terms and conditions of the letter carrier's employment when they were no longer permitted to take the hold mail back to their cases, and instead the clerk craft was tasked with returning the hold mail to the carrier cases the next morning. The M39 Management of Delivery Services Hold Mail states, instruct the carrier to place hold mail in the central location only when space is not available at the carrier's case. The language indicates the service's intent for carriers to return hold mail directly to their case unless space is not available at the case to store the hold mail. Under SOP 714, carriers are no longer allowed to return hold mail to their case. Rather, it is being held at a central location and returned to the carrier's cases in the morning by the clerk craft. So there you have it. A very good decision from Arbitrator Talmadge, where she tells you exactly what you must do with that mail when you bring it back in the PM. Take it to your case, where we case, and put it in those separations, and then take it to the exit at the CFS. So there's your episode on saving minutes. Saving minutes. We can save minutes with what we just learned right there. We can save minutes, and it's all about saving minutes in these 6-day counts. Headquarters are going to tell them to come in and take out an astronomical amount of time. That's fine. We can grieve it. We will save minutes. That way, when they have to put all this time back that they stole, we will show that we saved these minutes. We'll get the carriers paid in a grievance, and we saved a lot of minutes to help us out when we put these routes back, okay? So there's your episode, the first one, as Director of Education for the CLC. Y'all give me a name for it. I don't want to say from A to Arbitration because it has nothing to do with that. This is the CLC's thing to y'all. City letter carriers for city letter carriers, because that's what I am. I'm a city letter carrier. I'm still in my uniform. I just walked in the door from delivering mail today. It's Wednesday. So there you have it. 58 minutes of saving minutes. All right. I love you very much. I'll talk to y'all Sunday, where we'll talk about some other things. We might get a little feisty Sunday, all right? So I'll talk to y'all then, okay? Y'all have a fantastic rest of the week. Save us some minutes now, carriers. Save us some minutes. I'll talk to you later. Bye.